I want to say I want to give power to the people that delude themselves into believing that there is a God.
Oh, whoa.
Selfishness preaching, putting people in a place where they can't even take care of themselves, where they would not eat. I think.
Hello.
She should have.
Anybody have time for an interview?
A second meal for herself and given them cash for food if needed, because they had time to get food. But that's. I don't want to argue.
Any opinions on any of those? Any opinions on any of that?
I'm going to stand up. Yeah, let me clear this spot. We are live streaming to YouTube and Twitch, and we would love to hear your opinions on things. Get this out of your way.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. My name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Sophia.
Sophia?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let me get these notes down here. So, Sophia, cool. Do you come to the park often?
I don't. I'm from LA, so I've been here for 23 years, ever since I was born here, but I don't really come in this area, actually.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
You've been here for over 23. You're born here?
Yeah, I was born here.
Okay.
I was born, like LA native.
Sweet.
And I live closer to Boyle Heights, southeast, mostly where the Latino community is at. So,
Gotcha.
there's a large Latino community here too as well, but I don't really spend a lot of time here at the park.
Okay. Well, how's it been going so far? Have you done a swan boat ride and everything?
I just came off of it. Yeah, it was my first time ever getting on one of those swans. I think they're really interesting to look at. I think they're really funny, just swans, you're floating on them.
Yeah.
Are you inside of the swan, inside of the...
Maybe on the swan's back or something.
Or the swan, it's the swan's back, right?
I guess, yeah. Want to wear headphones? It's easier to hear people.
Oh, okay. Wait, what do you mean it's easier to,
It's easier to hear ourselves.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm scared of. My voice is going to sound so weird.
And you might want to close up the tightness there. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. Do you know that guy?
I don't. No.
Okay, never mind. So anyway, the swan boats was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get near the water, or did you get wet or anything?
Yeah, I was trying to get closer to the waterfall over there, but my aunt was freaking out about it. But we did get sprinkled, and we saw.
Okay, did she ride as well?
Yeah, she did. I took my little cousin in there as well too.
Sweet, cool. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm curious about this podcast.
Yeah, I'll try to explain what I'm doing. I'm trying to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology right there. It's a Socratic method style of conversation where someone comes up and makes a claim, and I talk with them, ask them mainly Socratic style questions where we get clarity on what they're talking about, what they believe, why they believe it, get clarity on that, and potentially then challenge those reasons with questions.
Oh, geez, super philosophical.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that.
I am, but I'm really bad with philosophy. I took an intro to philosophy class, and I ended up getting a D. But I liked it because it sort of gave me a structure of how to analyze essays and arguments. So now if I see any fallacies or something, I don't really take someone for serious anymore. So
Now you know about some fallacies, so you can recognize those.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what they're called verbatim, but there's cherry picking information, right, or something, and then and then there's straw man. Yeah, I don't remember all of them verbatim. I wish I did, but yeah, it was fun to take the class, and then we got to do this one assignment where we watched Rush Limbaugh arguments.
Oh wow!
And we deconstructed them, so that was really fun.
Deconstructed some Rush Limbaugh in your class?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so now whenever I watch politics, or anything, any opinions, or if I read op-eds or something, I have that in the back of my mind. I will say I'm very grateful for that aspect of my education, because now it kind of makes me more of a headstrong and opinionated person. I don't know. I'm pretty passionate about it.
Nice. All right, so there's some topics on the board over there.
Mm-hmm.
Any opinions on that, or anything else you want to chat about?
If something supernatural, I guess this is a question that I've been debating these last couple of months, due to the pandemic, and it's been such a hard time for a lot of people. A lot of people have passed away, and it's really questioned my own, I guess, morality, my own mortality, and my perspective on religion as well.
Wow, yeah. These last year has been pretty hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you've known some people who personally that you've done. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I had my godmother. I'm Catholic, so I was confirmed into the Catholic Church. I will say I'm more culturally Catholic instead of like spiritual. Now I just mostly participate in the culture of it, but I don't really like take it. I don't want to say I don't believe in God, but I don't really fully believe in all the aspects of that religion.
Yeah, so for these types of questions, we like to get people's confidence about something with these little confidence scales. So if all the way to the right is absolutely yes, the Catholic God exists, or not sure, or absolutely no, where's your current confidence about that claim?
In my opinion, the Catholic God, I believe that there is something out there. I believe that there is a God, but I don't agree with the Catholic God existing.
Give me both of those. Do the Catholic God first, and then a God.
So this is
confident, true, not sure, and not confident, not true to the left.
Oh man. Okay, if I can be honest about my opinion.
Yeah, try to be as honest as possible.
In my opinion, there is no canonical proof that a God exists. There is no proof, like physical proof, but I respect people who do believe in God. I believe in God. I believe in spirituality. So like if people believe in astrology and all that stuff, I'm like, great, power to you. I think it's more valid to believe in astrology, even in psychics, even in like chakra balancing or whatever, all of that spiritual stuff. Like, I think it's more valid to believe in that than the Catholic God, because there's just so much proof that the Catholic God doesn't exist. And I actually took a class about this. I took a class about reconstructing the Bible, and it just made me like really analyze what the Bible stood for. So I don't believe in the Catholic God, but I do believe that there is a God.
Okay, so where's your confidence for the Catholic God?
I will say there is no God. There is no Catholic God.
Where? So about all the way to the left?
Yeah.
All right. And for a God in general?
A God in general? I want to say I want to give power to the people that delude themselves into believing that there is a God.
Oh, whoa. You want to give power to the people who delude themselves that do believe in a God? So you're confident right along with them to like give them solidarity or something?
Yeah, I'm totally for it. I don't disrespect people who believe that there's something out there, but I don't agree with organized religion and the traditions.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Well,
does that make sense?
So are you actually that confident that a God exists and is real and true? Or you just want to be on the outside saying it's the case so people aren't offended or like caught off by you?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I like totally did not explain myself in a right way. I guess there is no proof that God exists, but like I said, I totally respect people who believe in it, and I believe in it myself, but I don't have proof that it exists.
Do you need to believe the things that people believe in order to respect them? Respect them as people? Do you need to believe those things that people believe in order to respect them as people?
Do I need to believe in them?
Believe the things they believe.
Yeah.
Like a God exists in order to respect people?
No, I don't think so. No, because I disagree with a lot of people that are religious and that believe in their type of God, and I just don't. I don't know.
So where's your actual confidence that a God exists? Any God.
Any God? Yeah. Then I would say there's no God.
Okay. And you can check out my confidence too about that if you at any time if you want.
What is yours?
You can look at it.
Where?
Right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's for any God right now for me, but I could be wrong. Looks like we're in a similar place. Are we wrong about this, though? Want to talk about the truth of this claim?
Sure. I mean, sure, but I don't have any proof of this claim. Yeah. So
you don't have any proof of this claim?
I don't.
What do you mean by proof?
I can't prove that there is a God.
You can't prove that there is a God?
I can't, no. Fun fact, well, I grew up Catholic. I'm Mexican American, so it's kind of ingrained in the culture. A lot of Mexican culture is influenced by Catholicism and Christianity in general. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's due to Spain colonizing Mexico, so that's their influence.
Yeah, the indigenous people in Mexico did not have Christianity until Spain colonized.
Yeah, exactly. And
should you believe? Sorry, keep going.
No, exactly. And I always bring this subject up with my family because there are some indigenous communities in Mexico still that practice like a mix of Catholicism with the indigenous practices that they do. A lot of it actually involves like the concept of hallucinogenic mushrooms and sort of those rituals. So I'm really interested in that. And I think it's crazy how it's influenced so much of pop culture because John Lennon and Yoko Ono went to Mexico, to Oaxaca to participate in those rituals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have this discussion a lot with my family, and I always wonder, like, if it wasn't for Spain's colonization, would we be practicing the indigenous religions that they had? But that's not even a question at this point because it's like I'm already a byproduct of colonization. Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we're influenced by the ideas in the past. They just carry on through culture, generation to generation. Some things are true and real, and some are not. And it's good to just talk about these things.
Yeah.
What should we believe? How confident should we be about things? Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
I went to Catholic school my whole life, pretty much like my primary years of school. So from kindergarten to 12th grade, I went to a Catholic school. I went to an all-girl Catholic school in high school. And my sophomore year, I remember they made us, every year they make you take a religion class. It's mandatory for pretty much all the Catholic high schools in Southern California or California. It's mandatory due to the...
mandatory from whom?
From the Archdiocese here in Los Angeles.
Oh, the Catholic Church mandates certain curricula? Yeah,
so in my high school, we had 6 classes, and one of the classes was religion, so we had to take religion every single year. And when I think about like the process of applying to colleges and universities at that time, I thought it was so embarrassing that I had to fill out like, oh, I took 5 legitimate academic courses, and then like 1 was religion. And
you were embarrassed about your religion class?
Yeah, I was, because it doesn't transfer over as credits. It's not a valid class. Like biology.
For secular universities,
yeah. Like biology, or you can't compare like religion to those actual, what is it, like A through G? No, I don't even remember what the system is called. But like you had to take certain credits of like, you have to go up to Algebra 2 for math. You have to take like up to chemistry or something, like those subjects. Core curriculum, yeah.
Core curriculum.
Yeah, religion is not a core curriculum subject, although there was one religion class that did count for it, and it was a world religion class. And I feel like I was cheated out of that class so much because our teacher was extremely outdated and super racist.
Yeah, and a world religions class in a Catholic high school, was it biased in any way towards?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. No, like I felt like so disrespectful learning about Judaism and Islam.
Yeah.
I had like this Southern old teacher teaching us about this, and yeah, I have a funny story about that. I have so many things to talk about religion, I guess. I'm gonna backtrack to like the first comment that I was saying.
Sure.
My sophomore year of high school, we had to take a religion class, and there was a part of that class we had to learn about Saint Thomas of Aquinas's 5 proofs. I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
He's a saint.
Yeah.
And he came up with 5 proofs that God exists.
These are some of the things that don't give you confidence
Yeah.
that a God exists. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And in theory, I love his arguments, but there's so many fallacies to them now that I see as an adult. When I was 15 years old taking this class, I was like, wow, yes, there is a God. And one of the proofs that...
Where were you in high school? Okay, you were there in high school, now you're on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
you can move back.
They taught us about the 5 proofs, and then they taught us... one of the proofs was like, God exists because people are just naturally meant to be good. Like, we're just good doers. That's proof that God exists.
People are good?
Yeah.
Therefore God exists?
Yeah. That was one of the proofs.
Okay.
I'm not saying it for verbatim, but that was like the general idea. And then another proof was like, what was it? There's a prime mover. Like, something started everything, so that's God. And I remember the one thing that made me really upset about that class is that they asked us in a test what came first, the chicken or the egg. And the answer was supposed to be nothing. Like, nothing came first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it made me so mad because
what class asked you that question?
It was the same religion class. It was within the context of the St. Thomas of Aquinas 5 proofs. They asked us that. They tested us on the 5 proofs, and then that was one of the questions on a test for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really upset with that answer because, okay, you're only given 2 options to answer that question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? How can nothing... That's a response, but that's not a direct answer to the question, correct?
I mean, we can find chickens and eggs, and they're real. And they were analogizing this to a God existing?
Yeah, yeah.
So what were they comparing existing? Like nature versus God? Which came first, nature or God? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, it was going along with the, God is the prime mover. The reason that everything started was because of God, because he's the one that's the prime mover. So that's why the chicken and the egg question is irrelevant. That's why, like, when people ask, I guess...
It's a disanalogous thing.
Yeah. A lot of people ask that in regarding to God, like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And then the 5 proofs was supposed to completely destroy that question. But in my opinion, I thought it was a bullshit answer because it's not even really an answer. It's a response to the question, but, like, you're only given 2 options, chicken or an egg.
What is the best reason, even though it may fail, for God?
What do you mean? What is the best reason?
Like, these are some reasons potentially to believe in a God.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else besides these 5 arguments from Aquinas? Is there any other evidence? Any other reasons people would give? What would reasons people give for believing in a God besides this?
I would say another...
Unless these are the best things.
I would say another reason would be the proof given by the Vatican of miracles. Because,
miracles.
In order to be canonized as a saint, you have to have done a miracle or experienced a miracle of sorts. And then there's also the apparitions. And I know my family is really taken away by apparitions.
Like ghosts and stuff?
Yes, and then also they are really influenced in the Virgin de Guadalupe, her appearance and stuff like that.
This is another miracle.
Yeah, this is another miracle. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's the appearance. Holy shit! Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this apparition is kind of racist to a certain degree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It basically. Yeah, because it's propaganda. Now that I'm, like, thinking about it, I learned about it in an art class as well, and I'm like, this is propaganda. Basically, the apparition is that the Virgen de Guadalupe showed up to this indigenous man in Mexico, around, I want to say Mexico City, somewhere in that area. Mexico City is now westernized, and it looks like a mixture of New York, Paris, and, like, Italy. It's super European, like, but before there were, like, swamp lakes, and that's where, like, a lot of the Aztecs and Mayans were at.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't clarify whether it was the Aztecs or Mayans, but it was known as Tenochtitlan. So it had indigenous sort of origin.
Uh-huh.
And then the virgin appeared to this indigenous man and said, like, please build a chapel here. So that's where the chapel is built. It's a huge chapel, and a lot of people go and visit. It's a tourist site, and every time I go to Mexico City, my family goes to visit it.
So the Catholic Church claims the Virgin Mary appeared to an indigenous tribe member around Mexico City?
Yes, the indigenous member was named Juan Diego, and the proof of that is that she appeared on a cloak, because he went to a priest. I'm sorry, let me backtrack. The Virgin appeared to Juan Diego, and the Virgin said, please build a chapel here. And then Juan Diego went to the priest or bishop or whatever, some member of the clergy, and said, we need to build a chapel here. The Virgin just appeared to me. And the priest said, I don't believe in that. That's a load of bullshit. So then the next day, Juan Diego goes, and the Virgin says, please be insistent upon building this chapel here. And then Juan Diego's like, but no one believes that you're here. And she's like, please, just make them believe. So he goes. And then the priest is like, no, that's still a load of bullshit. Okay. And so then she appears to him a third time, and she's like, okay, I'll make a miracle happen. Get your cloak, get some roses, put some roses in them, and then you'll show the priest the roses. So he goes with his cloak full of roses, shows the priest, and he unveils his cloak, and then the image of the Virgin is printed on the cloak. And that's supposedly the first image of her ever. She's sort of like indigenous looking in that sense. Her skin is a little bit more brown. It's this image, and the cloak is hanging there in the chapel. It's gotten full recognition from the Vatican. Like, you have to go through some sort of process of the Vatican verifying that this apparition did happen. And so it's hanging there in the middle of the chapel, and people come and visit it from all over the world.
Yeah, this is an example of a miracle that the Catholic Church claims has happened. Mm-hmm. And miracles, people say, are good reasons to believe in a God. Do you believe this miracle happened?
Do I believe in it? Yeah. Not anymore. I would like to, but I don't, because...
You'd like to?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, I would like to believe that there is something out there. There is a God. And sometimes I do believe, like, good things do happen, and it's because the world is looking out, or something is looking out for us. But I can't really go back and say that it is a Christian or Catholic or whatever type of God. So, like I said, in theory, I would like to believe in that theory of, like, there is a God, because people are good doers. I genuinely do believe people are good doers. The chance of someone being extremely evil, it's like a 1% chance, in my opinion. I really think some people try to benefit other people, but sometimes they don't know how to do that, or, you know.
How does people being good or bad relate to a God existing?
That's a fair question that I don't have a correct response, but like I said, there's a huge fallacy with that theory. But
is the argument God created humans to be good, therefore God exists?
Yeah, I think that. No, I don't know.
Or what is that? What is that about?
The argument. I don't think that fully encompasses the argument, but I think it's just saying, like, people are just naturally meant to be. The world is naturally meant to be good, and God created a good world, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I think that's what...
I hear morality exists. God is the source of morality, therefore God exists.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a nice theory, but I don't necessarily agree with it. It's been debunked by so many scholars, so
What's been debunked?
That the St. Thomas of Aquinas theory.
The specific miracle story.
Yeah, and miracle stories as well. Well, I can't say miracle stories have been debunked, but I have, like, tried to research them, and I read somewhere that, like, Juan Diego really wasn't a real person, And then I took an art history class talking about the image of La Virgen de Guadalupe because she appears here in Los Angeles a lot in different murals. And in my art history class, it was kind of promoted in a way saying like her image is almost propaganda to convert indigenous people to becoming Catholics.
So what would be a good reason to believe in a God?
What would be a good reason?
Yeah.
In my opinion?
We're running out of ice.
A good reason? I don't think I have a specific reason to say, like, with the full argument to support it, but in my opinion, I would say a good reason to believe in God. I don't necessarily agree with morality or more. Yeah, I don't really agree with that argument. I mean, it works for certain people, but it doesn't work for me. I think.
How about miracles? If you personally experienced a miracle, would that do it? Would that be a good reason?
I would say just having faith and having faith that things aren't completely bad.
Having faith that things aren't completely bad?
Yeah, having faith that there's more to life than just badness or hard times. I would say it's a good reason to believe in God. I feel like a lot of people use God as sort of like a rehabilitation point, and I've seen that a lot with the pandemic. I had a friend who became sober, and then she became a completely Christian fanatic. She was spiritual before. But she was more like the New Age spiritualism, sort of the law of attraction. She was into like tarot and astrology.
Yeah.
And now she's like fully conservative Christian, and she did it to get sober, and I'm proud of her for being sober. But I also think her using God, the way that she portrays her Christianity, it's sort of like, okay, it got you sober, but now you actually have to put the effort into being sober. You can't just say like, God saved me.
She attributed her changed life from being an alcoholic to sober to God existing?
Yeah.
If you saw more of that happening, would that be a good reason to change your confidence about it?
No, I don't. I don't, because
what would cause you to be different in your confidence? What would be a good reason or something you could learn or find out or see or experience?
What would change my mind to really believe that there is a God?
Maybe not all the way, but just slightly change your confidence about it.
I think about this all the time. Like the world would have to end and then God appears or something. I hate to sound like really rude, but I've been in college for like 4 or 5 years. I've sort of taken classes that debunk the myth of God. So I just have like too much education to like really believe in a full organized religion, Christian religion.
Based on the reasons and evidence that have currently been out there. Anything new that could happen? You said like an apocalypse and like God would come down, that type of situation?
Yeah.
What's the minimum thing that would cause you to change your confidence? Maybe not something extreme like that. What's the most plausible thing that could happen?
The most plausible thing? I think all my reasonings are extreme. I will say, me and my grandparents are still alive, thank God. I would say they're pretty relatively young for being grandparents. They're like in their 70s. I always tell them if they were to ever pass away to contact me in a dream or something, and to give me like a key word and say like there is an afterlife. So we already wrote down our messages of like what our keywords are.
Really?
Yes.
You gave your grandparents a message to relay back to you?
Yeah.
Wow. How would that go? How would that happen? I
said that they would have to appear to me in a dream, and they would have to say like verbatim like this keyword and this statement, and say like there is an afterlife. They have to come to me in a dream afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, so if they die and then you have a dream later that they have a keyword, do you know this keyword yet?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
you already know the keyword? Couldn't you just dream that happened and dream the keyword?
I know. I think about that too. Because I know...
If they put a keyword in a safe that you've never seen, and then you have a dream, and they say, okay, now that you've had the dream, go to the safe and check the word that they were saying, and you wrote it down before you saw it, that would be interesting.
That's true. Yeah, I should do that.
Or like a 10-digit number, random number.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Or a word. Well, ideally something specific that would be not, that's not easily guessed by chance. Or what is the best way to test this with your grandparents?
Well, I mean, that is true. You're right. I should think of a different system. And I have thought about that because I'm like, I know subconsciously sometimes I make myself dream things. I'm not a lucid dreamer or whatever, but I know sometimes, like, if I think too much about something, it'll appear in my dream. I have had dreams where, like, my great-grandparent... I'm going to have to get going soon.
Gotta go? Okay, we can wrap up. Feel free to take a card and one of these little puzzle pieces. If you see me again, you can come back and get another piece. Thank you, Sophia.
It's okay. Oh, I have one more funny story. Hold on.
Okay.
So, in my world religions class, we were learning about this Christian Science. Is it called Christian Science? Something like that.
That's a thing.
Yeah. And they don't believe in medicine.
Blood transfusions?
Yeah, they don't believe in that. And I think they even tackled the subject on Family Guy. I saw that episode. And I got it confused with Scientology because I heard about that in Scientology. I heard something that, like, Katie Holmes couldn't get an epidural because she was married to Tom Cruise at the time. Yeah, when she was pregnant. And so I brought it up to my teacher, who I said was this very racist, old, white, Southern lady. And I brought it up because we were talking about Christianity. I don't even know what it's called. Christian Science or whatever, yeah. And she brought up the fact that they don't use medicine. And I was like, oh, like Scientology. And everyone stared at me in the class. And I was like, what? Like, isn't Scientology technically Christianity? There's like a cross on the building. Like the blue building. Where is it? I don't know. Is it?
I'm not sure there's a lot of crossover with Christianity and Scientology.
The blue building, is it on Sunset? I'm not sure, but the huge blue building of Scientology has a huge cross on it, and I was like, and I read somewhere also that you can be a Christian and a Scientologist at the same time, something like that. So I assumed it had like some correlation, and she gave me this dirty look, and she's like, "Don't ever talk about Scientology. That man L. Ron Hubbard is a quack."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I got in trouble for mentioning Scientology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Wow. Well, thanks, Sophia. Don't want to keep you too long. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Wow. That was nice.
Good. I wasn't able to follow along. I couldn't hear, and I didn't want to disrupt.
You couldn't hear?
Well, I didn't want to.
What
play
about
sounds.
Oh, yeah. No, you could have taken this.
I could have taken that, or I could have plugged a headset into this. There was ways I could get around it, but I figured I would just watch it later.
Yeah. Okay.
I do hear that people are saying awesome and amazing, and this should go on your YouTube.
Okay. Cool.